Thank you, Mariam class. For a woman in those days to challenge the traditional male-dominated society and enter the house of worship, which was only restricted to male priests, took not just a lot of courage, but faith and conviction. For Bibi Mariam, it was an act of obedience to Allah, even if it meant dire consequences for her. We see this value repeatedly in people of great faith and piety, a typical reflection of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his followers, including the Christian Wahab ibn Abdullah Kalbi, who converted to Islam on the day of Ashura, so that he too could join the ranks of the helpers of Imam Hussein, even though he was very young and newly married. His bride too was brutally killed when she ran up to his severed body to cry over it. Our next presentation is on the Holy Lady Narjis alayhi salam, the mother of our present Imam Mahdi. May Allah hasten his reappearance.
Assalamu alaikum. This year we have been learning about Bibi Narjis, the mother of our 12th Imam.
Bibi Narjis was a Roman princess. She was living with her mother and father, who were Prince Yeshua and Bibi Shaman Nasafa. Bibi Narjis was the granddaughter of Caesar of Rome from her father's side and the granddaughter of Prophet Shamun, who was a successor of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. She married Imam Hassan al-Azhari alayhi salam and got the greatest son Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Imam Hassan al-Azhari's mother was Bibi Salim and her father was Imam Naki alayhi salam, who was a son of Imam Taqi, who was a great-great-grandson of the Holy Prophet.
So how did a Christian Roman princess come to be the mother of our living 12th Imam? Let's find out.
As you now know, the grandfather of Bibi Narjis was the Caesar of Rome. He wanted to marry Bibi Narjis to his nephew, also a prince. The palace was adorned. The people, the ministers and the priests had gathered for the marriage ceremony.
Just as the priest was about to recite the marriage vows, the building, all the idols, came crumbling down, and the column of the palace crashed to the ground. The ceremony could not go ahead. This happened twice more, and the wedding had to be called off. This was seen as a bad omen.
A few nights later, Bibi Narjis had a dream. She saw Hazrat Isa, the Holy Prophet, and all the Imams. The Holy Prophet came forward and asked Hazrat Isa for the hand of Bibi Narjis for his grandson, the 11th Imam. Hazrat Isa was overjoyed and accepted the offer. Bibi Narjis' nikah was then recited to the 11th Imam.
Bibi Narjis woke up feeling very happy but also upset that she couldn't meet her future husband. In her dreams again, she saw Bibi Fatima and complained to her about the separation. Bibi Fatima asked her to accept Islam. When she did this, Imam Hassan al-Askari started visiting her in her dreams.
One night, he told her of this plan that would get her to Baghdad and meet him for real. The Imam told her to disguise herself as a slave girl and join the grandfather's army that was coming to attack the Muslim land.
Bibi Narjis followed the Imam's instructions. The Roman army was defeated and Bibi Narjis was captured as a prisoner and brought to Baghdad as a slave girl. Now my friends will tell you more about her life in Baghdad.
PowerPoint by Imran, Hamza and I describes Bibi Narjis's life after Baghdad and how she coped with her arrival in a strange land with a foreign language and no friends or family.
Slave market. Imam Ali Naqi alayhi salam. Entrusted his companion Bashir ibn Sulaiman with a letter in the Roman language alongside with a bag containing 220 dinars and told Bashir the characteristics of Bibi Narjis. Imam told Bashir that he should approach someone called Umar bin Yazid and who would have for sale a female who was dressed in 2 silk clothes.
Bashir saw the slave girl the Imam had requested. He also saw the slave girl reject a buyer, saying she would only be sold to the right person.
After this had happened, Bashir ibn Sulaiman approached the buyer and gave the Roman girl the letter which was in the Roman language, as this is what the Imam had instructed him to do. Upon reading the letter, she began to cry and begged to the seller that she would only be sold to that buyer.
When Bibi Narjis arrived in Samra, the 10th Imam gave his sister, Bibi Hakima Khatun, the responsibility of teaching her the basic principles of Islam.
Later on, Bibi Narjis went on to meet our 11th Imam. When she was pregnant with the 12th Imam, she showed no signs of pregnancy, just like the mother of Prophet Musa. This was to protect the Imam from the tyrant leaders of the time, who had heard of the coming of the Mahdi. As soon as the Imam was born, he immediately went into sajda, then recited the kalima whilst pointing his hand to the sky, as this was performed by all the other Imams.
So what can we learn from Bibi Narjis's life? Well, she was such pious a woman that she had strong faith and was chosen to be the mother of our 12th Imam. Her faith gave her the strength to come out of her comfort, position and prestige for the love of our 11th Imam and Islam. We should also try to show examples of bravery in our day-to-day lives, similarly like Bibi Narjis did in her life. Wassalamu alaikum.